Thank you very much, Director. The PS State Department of Water and Sanitation, the PS Department of Irrigation, the secretaries in the two state departments present. On behalf of the CEO of Kenya Water Institute, my name is Eric Onete. I want to invite you to the Institute. I want to welcome you to this place. This is where we develop the potential for the industry through capacity development. And I believe today we have the honor to have the CEOs of the companies that we produce our expertise for, and other investors who would be interested probably through the discussions that we are having today to also reflect on what this institution does in terms of developing the capacities for this industry. So mine was only to welcome you to Kenya Water Institute. Feel most welcome. And now I want to invite the Secretary, Department of Water and Sanitation, to move on with the program. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Eric. The PSs who are here today, the PS for State Department for Water and Sanitation, Dr. Ono, the PS for State Department for Irrigation, Mr. Fantas Kimoto, and all the investors who are with us, good afternoon. We are indeed very happy that you are here today. We have about 100 investors who have come physically, and then we have got 38 investors who are online. So because we are not very many, I want us to introduce ourselves just by passing the mic. I know we have investors from Egypt, the Arab contractors. We have investors from China. We have investors from USA. We have got investors from Netherlands. So I want us to pass the mic so that you can quickly introduce yourself before we move to the next stage. You can start from there. Please, just introduce yourself, tell us your name and the company.
Yeah, thank you. All protocols observed. Good afternoon. I am Joseph Kibuchi. I work here as a lecturer, and currently I am the Deputy Director in charge of academic affairs. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Because of, for us to reduce on time, Ministries, Water Sector Family, you will just stand after the investors have introduced themselves.
Good afternoon. My name is Leonard Makoha, working here as a Deputy Director, Research, Consultants and Technical Services.
So Ministry staff, don't introduce yourself. We give this opportunity to investors to introduce themselves. Kindly pass the mic to all of them. You can speak any language.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Our team is coming from Power China.
Power China.
Yes.
Welcome, Power China. Your team can introduce themselves. You can tell them to introduce themselves. Okay.
Thank you. Engineer Nando Hirani from Mangat IB Patel Limited.
Good.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for the organization. My name is Tiago Barbosa. I'm from Mota Angel from Portugal.
Good. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Engineer Brian Ombe from China Gejuba Group Company, Kenya branch. Thank you.
Good.
Good afternoon. My name
Afternoon.
is Charles Mosirio Mbongi. I represent a company called Mingo Things. We are on technology side. We deal with the wireless sensors, which is basically infrastructural safety. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Mustafa El Salali from Arab Contractors from Egypt. Thank you.
Good. Welcome.
My name is Engineer Michael Aidaka, representing Icon Namibia and Waterlift Kenya.
Good. Namibia.
Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Kimingi. I'm representing a level group of Portugal.
Good. From Portugal.
Good afternoon. My name is Sophie. I'm from China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation. Thank you.
Welcome. China Civil.
Good afternoon. My name is Magdalene. I'm representing China Energy.
China Energy. So the whole team is China Energy? Okay.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
My name is Philemon Owiti. I'm representing Bridge Capital Advisors from Houston, Texas, USA.
USA is here.
Good afternoon. I'm
Afternoon.
Catherine Simba from Experiential Communication Edge, representing the Sinoma East Africa from China.
Good.
Good afternoon. My name is Hilary Gakuru, representing Ingerop East Africa Consultants, Kenya.
Good.
Good afternoon. My name is Gilbert Kwetis, representing ABS Engineering, Kenya.
Good.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Thiaka Mushai, presenting Transpan Consortium East Africa.
Good. Welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Engineer Moniki, representing Kaboito Contractors.
Welcome, Kaboito.
Good afternoon. My name is Kipkoech Jeramin, representing Nariama.
Good.
Good afternoon. My name is Samuel Nachami, representing Tecta Consultants.
Jaika, consultant. Okay. Move to the next line.
Good afternoon. I'm Karanja James, representing Strabag International, Germany.
Welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Nicoletta Kingori, representing Strabag International.
Welcome, Strabag.
Good afternoon. My name is Timothy Kibaki, representing Panafcon and also DHP from Netherlands.
Yes. Welcome, Engineer Kibaki.
Anyone else?
Someone has just come at the far end, the engineer.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
My name is Jacob. I'm representing professional consultants.
Engineer, there.
My name is Sanjay Oberoi from Narayan Enterprises.
Welcome. Can we have the ministry and the CEO stand up? The water sector family, water, sanitation, and irrigation sector family. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. You can sit. So I want to take this opportunity to welcome you and appreciate you for being here. We have also 38 online, so they are hearing us. They will not have the opportunity to introduce themselves, but they will hear us They have also had the introduction. So I want to appreciate you for being here. We had the first pre-bid conference on 18th May at Pan-Africa Hotel, where we had got over 240 investors. But we felt it's necessary that we provide opportunity for further clarification and further comments. So that's why we are here today. So at this time, I will request the PSS to make their remarks, and then after that, into further clarification, comments, suggestion, and things like that, and then we'll agree on the way forward on how we move from today. So with that, I want to invite the PS for State Department for Water and Sanitation, Dr. Paul Rono. Kindly come make some remarks and invite your colleague also to make his remarks, and then after that, we will continue with the program.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Lima. My colleague, PS Irrigation, the team from Ministry of Water, the investors present, both physically and online, good afternoon. I know time has gone, but we'll try as much as possible to speed up this discussion. As Engineer Lima said last time we met, we had a very fruitful discussion on this critical agenda for Kenya, which is to do with the 3 dams meant to be implemented through public-private partnership. The engagement went on. There were a number of questions raised. The ministry sat back, looked at the questions, listened to your concern, and felt that they need to engage you further so that we ensure that this program succeed. As government, we are and dedicated, and we like to facilitate all investors who have shown interest in this particular tenders, so that we can have a handshake up to the contract level, and then we can have a very successful programs for water and PPP. In the last engagement, after discussion, you raised questions. We have answered the questions. They may not be well answered, but we have posted online for all of us and all of you to look at it. But we still feel that there is still need to discuss any concern to assist you conclude on your document before you submit for evaluation. This engagement is a clear demonstration that the government is on course, and the government is committed, and the government is willing to facilitate all investors so that you can successfully conclude on your bid document. As the Secretary of Education, what the Secretary said, felt that there was some issues which investors, and maybe when we put it in black and white and post to you, we may not understand one another very well, and it can also affect the way we respond on this tender. Which is a key areas, around 4 items about government support to ensure that this engagement is attractive and also is a success, given that those various approaches in procurement. So one of it was to talk about the government, the cost the government will undertake on land. There was a whole issue on land. Land for irrigation and land for the dams. And after sitting as government, we want to further clarify that the government will ensure that it will acquire all land required for these programs so that the investors get opportunity to build dams in already acquired land or put up their irrigation schemes in terms of growing the necessary agricultural crops. I think that was one of the, and it has been one of the concern areas that what is the government doing on land? And we'll also ensure that by the time you get into the site, the land will be fully acquired and free for use. So it is a government, that is government requirement. The other one, which I think I was also a little concerned during engagement with you, is also the identification of some support from government on the investment. And the government will engage with you to identify the necessary support to access credit. At the same time, we'll also ensure that they facilitate you where necessary on case-by-case basis so that in case you are looking for funding and you need government support, the government will come in to provide the necessary required either legislations or documentation so that you can access the required credit for your investment. Some may not, and it's not limited, letter of support, letters of credit, and guarantees where applicable. So that was the second concern. The third concern was on the issue of risk on off-takes. And we want to assure you that the government will off-take all your investment in water through the water agencies or the authorities in place for bulk water purchases, which they will sign with you using the water purchase agreement. And during that period, on a case-by-case basis, it will be agreed on the pricing, the model for payment, and any other required facilitation to ensure that there is smooth running of this particular investment. So, like in irrigation, we have agencies who will buy water in bulk, and also in water, we also have agencies who will buy water in bulk. And in a nutshell, it will be poured by national government. It is upon the national government to do the last mile distribution, either with the investor or whichever method is seen appropriate. It's also upon the national government to collect all the revenues and pay. But the national government will give you assurance when the signing of the water purchase agreement will be done on when and how much will be paid to you every year based on an agreed requirement. The fourth one is the issue on commercial viability gaps, and the government will also look at case by case on issues to do with equity and put up support measures with the investor to close the commercial viability gaps that may exist. And support may include, even to some extent, we look at the taxes, how we can support you. And on a case-by-case basis, government also can look at the components, how they are being implemented whether if there is a sharing ratio, you can have an investor saying, I want the government to do the last mile, if it is water, for example, or treatment facility, or the dam, you do the dam, and then or you can say, we want the government to provide piping. So on a case-by-case basis, that will be discussed. On how we'll repackage each and every investment to make sure that it succeeds. What's more, I want to reassure the investors that the government is willing to positively negotiate issues and risk mitigation measures to buy in the investor confidence and successfully sign on the contracts. I think, ladies and gentlemen, this is a journey. And we hear you and we feel you as government. As a strategic investor, we want to make sure that we work together along the journey. There could be things which might look risky, but I believe when government is with you, you are assured of sorting out or mitigating the risk which are there or which might arise on the way. Because this is your time today, we like to listen to any other concern so that we can see how we can respond and now we can work together to close on this very, very important investment or programs for water in this country. In terms of zoning of this investment, you might have seen that each investment is strategically located. If you are talking about water supply, you'll realize that that particular dam is the only one, and we need water throughout. So there is no time people can stay without water. Water is required throughout. As I said last time, when you look at SDG 1 to SDG 7, they can only be implemented successfully if SDG number 6, which is water, is successfully implemented, because they all depend on SDG number 6. That means water is so critical to all of us, to every country, to every investment, and also really
Thank you, PS, Dr. Rono. Investors with us here today, whole team and leadership from the Ministry of Water and Sanitation and Irrigation. Good afternoon. I didn't have the privilege to be with you last time, but I'm happy to be with you here today as we discuss this agenda of the PPP. As Dr. Rono has just said, this is actually a journey we are calling upon, and the government is actually very committed to this agenda. As you all know, agriculture is one of the key pillars of the current administration, and in there, irrigation forms a very key part to enable us be able to address the issue of food security, be able to address the issue of eradicating hunger, and also probably create employment. So the government is very serious about that, and we are looking forward to actually getting partners in this. And this particular conference is just called upon for us to array any fear that may be there. As Dr. Rona just said, It's a good when you have a one-on-one engagement. We get to know your fears. As you know, business is about risk and return. So it's a good thing. Basically we get to know what are the real fears you have, what are the risks you pursue, and we see how together we can be able to address that. Because of time, I will not want to say much. I'll let you have this time so that we can be able to maximize on the little time left. Thank you.
Thank you so much, PSS. Let's appreciate the PSS much better. They have given you the commitment of the government that indeed we are in this exercise together. They have given you the power to submit your documents, the power to do. If you are thinking of a dam in your heart, they have given you the power to move ahead with that dam. Because the entire government is with you in that particular dam that you are thinking about. So this opportunity is for you to express the queries that are still within your heart, the thinking that you still have, where you are seeking clarification. This is the opportunity for you. We have got secretariat in that table. On that table, we have got secretariat. In this team, you have got procurement gurus. The head of procurement in State Department for Water, the head of procurement, State Department for Irrigation. And we have got our finance officers also here, 2 of them. So we are here ready for your answers, for your questions. We also have Secretary Administration for State Department for Irrigation. Yeah. We have got Irrigation Secretary, and I'm the Water Secretary. We'll be here to address your issues. The PSS can leave at their own pleasure. If they stay, well and good. If you see them moving out, well and good. So it is now time for investors to give comments, queries, and seek clarifications. It's open now. Okay, the procurement want to say something? It's just reminding me that the issues that you raised when we met on 18th, we have provided a matrix of all those issues, which have been circulated. They are in the portal. We believe you have gone through them. If need be, we can project them. But apart from that, so that we don't go back to the issues that we have dealt with, the issues that we have given you clarification, if there's something that you still need, even on the issues that were raised and you have responded to, if our response is not adequate, please, this is the time. Yes, somebody should be ready to pass the mic. So any issue that you will raise, we will be able to take them down. If you don't hear us responding on it here today, then you will get the response the way we did previously. Continue.
Thank you. Distinguished members, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Engineer Brian Ombe from CGGC Kenya branch. At Alliance High School, I learned the functions of most dams include flood control, water supply, irrigation, recreation, and hydropower generation, hydropower production. So the cost is relatively high. For example, for Galana Kulalu Dam, it is Kenya shillings 107.14 billion, and it would be constructed to serve 10,000 households. That is approximately 70,000 people. While Nyatike Dam in Migori, or the new Gogo Dam in Migori on River Kuja, would cost Kenya shillings 47.44 billion, serving Migori, Kisii, Homa Bay, including Kibiri Ward and Kericho. So PPP can only get returns from water supply and hydro power generation, which is not enough to cover the project cost, considering coverage rate of domestic water supply. So we can only raise the water price to offset these differences. So does the government have subsidies for water price or any tax exemption? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The next question, the next clarification, we have taken note of that. We will either respond here or we will respond in writing.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Karanchi James from Strabag. In our last investors conference, there are two questions which were raised. And one of them was if we are going to be provided with a pre-qualification document, because the document we have is only relates to the information which is given. And then the second question we requested was if the requirement of operation and maintenance for at least two similar projects is going to be waived, flowing from the fact that this is the first projects which we are undertaking under the PPP in the water sector. And most of the people who have done this in the past are EPC contractors. Those two issues were not captured in the answers which has been provided. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Here. There are two here.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I have a few questions. My name is Charles from Mingo Things, Barcelona. Ours is basically from the technology side, as I mentioned, on issues of infrastructure safety. So I have a few questions to ask. I don't know whether they were asked last time, but since I didn't attend, I will ask them very quickly. So the first question I'll ask are, what are the specific monitoring requirements and the regulations for constructions of dams in Kenya? Because I'm sure we've had an experience of dams collapsing. So how as we come from the technology side and we want to understand whether there are specific regulations guiding that. Then the next question, is there existing guidelines or standards for monitoring that probably maybe if we have wireless sensors and such monitoring tools, are there guidelines that have been put in place to have these sensors installed? If there are there current challenges and concerns related to dams monitoring, and what is the government doing, or what are the steps that the government has taken to address these safety concerns? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Hi everyone again. I just have a small technical question with regards to the bidding document. To comprehensively address the project, it will be inevitable in most cases to form a consortium. The conditions for which you state on the bidding document that the consortium has to be formed, board resolutions, etc., might be difficult to meet within the time frame that we have. The type of investors and consortium partners that are to build up are all international, and so documents would have to travel, and logistics-wise might be a little bit tricky. So I'm wondering if there's any possibility to ease that submission and eventually only use digital documents for our submission.
So there's one there from Strabag.
Yes, Good afternoon again. Following up on the issue of tax exemptions, you said you'd support us, but we want to know within which timeline will the government at least put those measures so that when you're doing the modeling, you know that these costs the government has already borne, yeah? So that maybe in the next 12 months, in the next budget cycle, we have that support so that when we are modeling, we have that assumption in our model. Thank you.
Any the sixth? You have done fifth?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My question was on the water purchase agreement.
Mm.
What will be the duration of the agreement? Is it 25 years, 20 years? And is the payment for the whole duration going to be secured by the government in case the bulk water authority is unable to pay for the water? Thank you.
That one, that is the seventh person.
My name is Sanjay from Narayana.
Mariana.
Yeah. Our question is that once a candidate bidder is selected for SPV and thereafter a geotechnical, since in these documents there is no geotechnical report at the moment, and you have put the geotechnical has to be done by the bidder himself. So in case, because geotechnical investigations are very, very expensive exercise. They may cost a few hundred millions, to know about the earth strata and whether the fissures are there or not, whether the dam is being constructed and certain, maybe in the earth there is some fissure and the water is all seeped out. So we are in dilemma, that in case you don't succeed and you do invest so much of money in geotechnical investigation. So is it possible that the geotechnical reports are given by yourself to us so that we are sure so that the cost what we are preparing for the dam, so it is economical. Otherwise we'll just take a lot of risk factor in it. Thank you.
Okay. At this stage, because the principal secretaries are still around, if they can take one or two. You still have one, you go on. That is the eighth person, the eighth investor.
Okay, my question is, my client is interested on 8 projects, but he said he understands it's on PPP, but he requested me to ask this question to our government. 8 projects is quite a lot of money. And he said if the Kenya government can consider that they are going to spend a lot of money on constructing the dams. So is it possible for our government, Kenya, to tip in on a certain percentage on financial support and then they give a certain percentage? And later you can agree on how to refund their money.
GOK contribution?
Sorry?
You are talking of GOK contribution to the investment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
We have heard you. So PSS, if there's something you can respond on from there.
Okay, thank you for the questions. I know these questions also speaks to our heart on our feelings on this particular program, and it shows that we are also ready to engage, because by the time you are asking questions like this one, it shows that there's a lot of thinking which has gone on within us in trying to invest on this program. I think let me answer question number 2 on tariffs. First of all, I heard someone, it was City Engineer Brian, you see the cost of dams, there's 147 billion, one over Sidaikan Dam. But let me tell you that we have not determined the cost of dams. It is you to tell us how much it costs. So if you saw anything somewhere, don't take those one as the the true cost of these dams. It is the investors to come on the ground, look at the whole project, and come up with an investment plan which the cost of dams will be included. So I guess there could be some information online, but I want to request the investors that they are upon the investors to determine the cost of those dams. And then based on that was the subsidies and the tariffs. As I said, there is a water purchase agreement. And based on the investors requested during the negotiation, after the investor has made analysis and say this amount of money I expect from government every month or every year, it is dictated, it will also dictate the cost of tariffs for water in that particular area. And the government will look at it and see how it can approach it, because it's upon the government to pay the investor the money as agreed upon on the water purchase agreement. So in this question, it is not really the investor to get too much worried, because the government is assured that it will take, the offtake is for government and pay the offtake. So whether and going downstream for distribution or for consumption, it is upon the government to see how to use the existing laws, because we have our own agency in charge of tariffs, and tariffs varies from region to region, and also it will vary from project to project, because we must make sure that we pay for this investment. So it should not be a big concern on whether the government will subsidize or increase the tariffs. The government will do what it takes to make sure that it pays the investors. If it means increasing the tariffs or subsidizing, that is upon the government, and the government is committed on that agenda item. I want to leave the technical part to engineer. I don't know whether my colleague here can answer or any other question here, but maybe meanwhile I give the technical part. PS, you want to answer one or two?
I think mine is just to clarify. I think the same question about, someone mentioned about something about Galana and mentioned, I think, a figure. I think at this point you've not yet gotten to any particular figure of any of the projects. But in terms of viability, I think the government is very clear. Like in case of Ghana, where is an irrigation project, the National Irrigation Authority will end up being the off-taker from the person who has done the PPP. Then from there onward, it is going to engage the commercial farmers who to off-take the water from bulk from the PPP and sell to the respective commercial farmers. Thank you. So maybe at this point I can also give the technical team.
Thank you so much, PSS. I want to request the head of supply chain management, Mr. Kitui, to respond on the bidding documents, particularly pre-qualification and the formation of a consortium. The consortium, the question is on time frame.
Thank you, Engineer Lima. The question on if we could give a draft request for proposal document. What we are doing at the moment is trying to come up with a short list of the investors who we feel qualify to meet our bare minimum requirements, so that we engage them going forward. At this stage, the information which we are requesting from the investors is to determine if they have the technical capability at the bare minimum, the financial resources to engage with us to do more detailed proposals going forward. So the request for proposal document will only be shared with those investors who will have been satisfied to meet the bare minimum criteria for engagement. On whether consortium, they need more time to engage, we have given that. We are also regulating requirements of the law that we must do some of this activity within some specific time duration. Already we have given an extension for we gave an extension for another 30 days. However, given the need of what the investors will feel, this is an issue again, we retreat, sit, look at this, see how many people maybe are requesting for more time so that we can see what time to add. But my PS will confirm this is an activity which the government is committed to complete as early as possible. So if we could try to work within the timeline given so far, it would be very appreciated from the side of the government. I think, engineer, there's also the issue of the bidding document, whether they can be submitted digitally. I think we can come out with a framework to accept that going forward. We only have to secure so that the requirements of the law is that we have to open this bid at some time. So we'll have to see with the ICT department to see how best then that can be addressed. I think that is what I was to cover. Thank you.
Allow me also to say something, a few of them. I said if you don't get response, then you know you will get it in writing. The issue of dam safety. Dam safety is well covered in our regulations. So I can say, tell the investor who answered this question that please get the water harvesting and storage regulation. Dam safety is covered there. Get the water resources rules of 2021. Dam safety is covered there, including monitoring, including how we are supposed to do inspection, the frequency, depending on the size of the dam. Because we have classified the dams into 3 categories, 1, 2, and 3, depending on the height. So kindly get our documents, which are also available on our website, so that you can get that clarification, and you can see what is covered in the regulations. So when we meet here, you can maybe tell us this is not covered and it is necessary. So dam safety is covered, monitoring and inspection is covered in our regulations. The investor who is interested in 8 projects and is asking for government contribution. As a government, we want to come in. Tell us, I want to do the dam, so that the government can see what is remaining. Because we can't say we'll be involved when we don't know what you want to cover. Yes, so if you are interested in 8, please be on board. Tell us this is what you want to do, and this is where the gap, so that the government can look for another investor, or the government can see what can be done, so that the project is completed and is functionable. The issue of part work, part payment, that you can do grouting and you say, let me stop there. We don't envisage that, because we want to go to the long haul. Yeah. So going to the finish line. That risk is identified, and that risk is mitigated and timed. The issue of the duration of water purchase agreement. Mr. Iran, the water purchase agreement is for the whole duration. From the signing up to the time that you have recouped your investment, your return, and you are now handing over to the government. So it is for the long haul. This for the entire period. The issue of the time frame for tax exemption. The PS said clearly that this will be based on specific projects. Yeah. So we discuss it as we discuss a specific project. So we cannot say our whole sum that go ahead. I think the PS was very clear. This is all those things are the project. Unfortunately, there are investors online, and they are not getting that. And wanted to give them opportunity because some hands were up.
The response is they are not getting enough. So I believe we hold the result ourselves.
So we hold.
But I think you will also write all of them.
We also write all of them, and even those questions we will provide. We provide you with how to submit further questions. And we'll provide a number. We'll also provide an email so that you are able to submit or give us seek further clarifications out of what we are going to discuss or we have discussed since we started the pre-bid conference on 18th May. I think the issue of the price of water PS has clarified. We don't need to go back. It is not our intention to raise the water tariff. It's not our intention. So the PS has clarified on that. We don't need to go back to it. Okay. So are there further questions so that we can respond? Yes, please. Or any member of our team who can also clarify on something.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make a small clarification. I think it's Brian who had alluded to it on the dams that are intended to support irrigation. One thing, as far as irrigation is concerned, I know whatever we are doing right now is the dam, but after that, just like in water, there'll be reticulation. On the part of irrigation, of course, there'll be the part for developing the irrigation infrastructure. And the model that you are having right now is two-way. One, either we are going to get another private investor who will now do the infrastructure development of the scheme, and then probably be even an off-taker and have other farmers surrounding him so that he can support them with extension, input, and marketing. That's one model that we are proposing. The other model is we are having the off-taker as National Irrigation Authority, and then, of course, he's going to deal with the irrigation farmers users associations the way we are doing the public schemes in the country. So at the end of the day, the whole value chain will be addressed, and we strongly believe it is going to be profitable. So what I'm trying to say is even investing in dams for irrigation will still be profitable. It's an issue that people have to sit down and look at the modalities. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any member of our team? The investor that will ask for just doing geotechnical. I think we have clarified and you are satisfied that your heart should be fully here. If there are risks that can prevent you from completing the project, then we identified it here, now, and we de-risk them. So we are not saying that you just do grouting or you just doing investigation, then you stop there. It's not fair that we plan that way. Yeah. Because that would mean we are planning to fail. Any further clarification? Yes, Starbuck? Just get the mic.
Hello? Sorry, I wanted to maybe put my question to just say that we note in the tax laws the water development costs are not exempted, but the water supply itself is exempt from VAT. Yes. So wanted to know if there'll be changes in law so that we can have the inputs into construction and all that being exempted. That's the point.
We get you.
Yes,
we
yes,
get you,
thank
but
you.
we are saying even now, most of our projects are tax exempted, even the projects that are going on. Some of the projects are tax exempted. And that's why we are saying we'll discuss specific project by project. Further questions? Yes, I can see you're back again. Yes.
Thank you. How many copies of the tender document do we have to submit, or can we submit one bid for all lots? Thank you.
Procurement will respond to that. Yes. Or those who are online, you can raise your hand so that we can see you. After this, we come to you. Those who are online.
Thank you, Chairman.
Yes.
Yes, good afternoon. We have a concern about if the project, for example, if we need to do the extend for the previous water treatment plant and to become a bigger one. So in that case, the government will transfer the previous water treatment plant to the contractor, or as an investor, we need to buy it.
Any other? Those who are online, I can see a hand is up. Alan Munya. Alan Munya, you can go on. Yes.
My name is Alan Munya from Meridium. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Asante Lema. From Meridium, an infrastructure investor. I've posted a couple of questions which we had written to the ministry before on the chat and I was wondering if you could kindly go through some of them. Thanks.
He's saying he has written a number of questions.
Thank you, Engineer, again for the opportunity. I think there were questions which were raised in our conference one at Pan-Africa, which we had already responded, and through, I think, addendum number 3. Now, what is obtaining is there were further questions which came after we had already responded to that, the queries which were put across under conference number 1. Sequentially, we then request that of the responses we gave under addendum number 3, is there any specific area that you think we have not adequately addressed, so that we clear with that? Then subsequent follow-up questions, we can again pick them, and other fresh new questions which are obtaining from today. In that order, I think engineer will make more and more progress and quite a bit quickly. So the Secretariat, you could maybe project our addendum number 3, and if there's any bidder who is specific, just because I'm sure you are now familiar with what we responded, which query among the responses we gave that you may require additional information, so that we dispense off with our addendum number 3. Then we can now take any other questions which you think are fresh. So the gentleman who was online, is that question related to our addendum number 3 or the fresh ones?
Some of these are questions raised but not quite responded to in the addendum that was issued, unless there's a more recent one that I'm not aware of. But I believe I saw addendum number 2. I don't think I've seen number 3 yet.
I also know that there are several questions that we have received of late, which you are asked to respond also in writing. So when we are responding to this one, we are also going to respond to all those in writing. Alan? Alan, we have lost you. Alan, we have lost you. Alan, we have lost.
I said I think it's better that we then await for the responses to come in writing. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, engineer. I think, Alan, what we'll do, we'll take your questions. As we said, those which can be clarified here will be clarified, but the final response will be when we run the final addendum. There's a question which had to do with submission of the bids. What is happening, each project has been given its unique number. We are going, and each project has its own uniqueness. So we expect that your responses should be specific to the site, because each project is unique in its own merit and merits. Yes, a moment.
Sorry. Even though each project has its own uniqueness, as you mentioned, the reality is the pre-qualification eligibility criteria is basically the same outward through all of them. Only the scope is different, but the eligibility is the same. So in principle, if a bidder qualifies to one of those projects, in theory could qualify to all. So I would propose, and I know if you're okay with it, I think it's part of one of the queries that we submitted officially, that we submit one document in terms of pre-qualification, eligibility, financials, etc., and then on the document, let's say the cover letter, we indicate exactly which of those specific projects we are bidding to.
I did let me allow Engineer Mulama to comment and Nyambeche before.
Okay, thank you, Wanakitui. What I want to say is that we have done PIMs, project information memorandum, specific for each project, and the requirements alter, because as you realize, some of the projects, the requirements are different. Some could be dams, some could be dams with hydropower and irrigation, some will be just water supply only. So we are finalizing the documents for the PIMs for each and every project, and that is why, in our opinion, or in what we have assessed and analyzed, that each project is unique. Some are big in size, in the value of resources needed and whatnot. So we have tailored all the requirements for each specific project, and you will be receiving the PM by the end of the week.
As Engineer Lima had alluded, all these things we are listening. We listen to. That is what we thought was the best approach. But as we are saying, bring forth the reviews, the questions, the opinions, the responses, the observations. We'll be able now, as we retreat, we look at the whole scenario and give a solution which we think is more convenient to everybody. Those online,
there's somebody online. You can go there and see that hand.
Who is next?
Yeah, that one.
That's Albert.
Yeah, that one.
Albert, please, let's hear you. Then there is Jael Bekele. Do you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Please ask your question.
Okay. Good afternoon, and for the opportunity. So my question is in terms of the pre-qualification criteria. So once, say, a single entity bidder is pre-qualified, is it possible to then add a partner and create a consortium, or is that not a possibility once the pre-qualification has occurred? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We hear 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 you. Okay, thank you. We hear you. Okay, thank you. We hear you.
Okay. Jabedi. Jaleli Bekele. I think we'll be inviting them as we move. Okay, let's respond to the pre-qualification criteria. I think the question is, do we admit other consortium partners after the shortlist is done? I think the question is no, because we are going to evaluate the capabilities, the experience of the partners. That is what will assist us determine if you meet the bare minimum criteria to partner with the government going forward. So you are expected to bring all partners on board, and at this level of submission, we will not admit other partners thereafter because of the question of eligibility. What happens in other cases is it can only be allowed at the time of contracting, where due to other factors beyond what we envisioned in the process, then you can be under exemplary circumstances be allowed to substitute any member of the consortium with equal or more expertise. But to make the process easier, we need you to bring all the partners on board now to meet the criteria which we have put for the purpose of evaluation. I can hear my boss wants to add something.
Okay, I just wanted to add, once you have formed a consortium, I think maybe I just wanted to clarify, we expect that you are going to go with that consortium and you can enhance it. You can enhance it by bringing in other parties if you feel that you need those capabilities to improve on your delivery of the project. We can enhance it, but we cannot reduce. We can enhance it, but not reduce.
I think that makes it more clear. So the next person online, or any member around here who has another burning question? Yes, engineer. Mike, please. Can you pass over the mic?
First of all, I'm sorry I'm asking too many questions, but assured us that he came with all the answers. Thank you. So when we enter the site to carry out projects, we need to pay attention to where the risks are and how to prevent them in terms of politics, economy, law, and culture. So how does the government plan to cover these water risks? Thank you.
Engineer Lima, I think you can take that. Engineer Lima, I'm being informed because of the changeover of the generator and the power, we might be having people joining and they've lost them. So they are requesting give them a little bit more time so that we can see if we can take those questions. 1 minute. What we are saying, we are going to take questions up to until, what was the deadline again, Engineer? Because we need now to retreat and give the responses to enable the investors to complete their proposals. Our anticipation is that if we could get all the questions by close of Friday this week, so that we respond and also give you ample time to be able to prepare your request for qualification. So we assume the physical attendance questions are put to rest, but we qualify that as you walk out and you forgot something, just put the question on the email addresses provided in the portal. We'll be able to respond to the questions within 1 week maximum, so that we give you 2 weeks before we close. Secretariat, are we ready?
I just wanted to confirm something with you. There are some clarifications issued in Addendum 2, whereby you say that they have been posted on the portal, but going to the portal, the only document we can get is the Addendum 2. I don't know if they are coming, or maybe it's a slight on your part, maybe you forgot to put it, or we just wait for it to be posted.
I think what engineer said was, there are questions which we can take here. There are questions which you can post, but overally we'll do the final addendum after this conference to address any outstanding issues. But just because we are here, which is this issue that you need more clarity that has not been addressed in addendum 2.
Number 5.
Number 5 was clarify the requirement for experience in dams, even when the scope entails downstream works only. You want to clarify? Let's allow Engineer Mulama, he says he can clarify with that.
Okay, that issue has been sorted out. Actually, the requirements of RFQ requirements, parts of the requirements have been tailored for projects, and it will cure out that issue, because as I told you that the requirements, the RFQ requirements, parts, sections of them that have been modified to suit the specific projects. And I think we have delayed on our side. We're putting those documents on the portal by the end of the week. There is just something we're fine-tuning that we put in. Yeah. Addendum number 3. The PIM document, we're going to update it to reflect that.
Has that answered your concern? Okay, what engineer is saying, there's one document which has not been uploaded. That is the project information memorandum, which is being finalized, and the commitment is that it should be posted by close of the week. Yes?
Okay. Okay, I just want to make a comment. There's one investor who was talking about going to do maybe geotech investigation, and it will cost a lot of money. I'd like the government maybe to give a list of research papers that have been done in the past on these projects. I've had a look at water master plan of 1992 done by JICA during the time of President Moi. Those research papers or documents were again taken over by Kibaki government and transformed into Vision 2030. And I have looked also, some of those documents are the ones we are doing. So to avoid duplicating information and burning resources may be unnecessary. I know the government, before they advertise for these projects, they have done their own research, they have papers. So my question or request is this: can the government list in every project that these papers are available online, or they're available in these government offices? Go, read, research, and model your document in line with that. Thank you.
I think that is in order. We will give whatever information we have, even the master plan. I know we have them in soft copies. So Engineer Mulama, let's, not even 1992, we have got for 2013 by the same JICA, and aftercare study in 1998, but we'll give you the one for 2013. We can put that so that you have got all the information you need. I can see some of the issues. The body language tells me you are satisfied. Other issues you are not satisfied. I can see as we sit here. So we have noted the one that is still you are not satisfied, and we will try as much as possible to enhance our response. I said we'll give you all the answers today, but some also will not, and give you the answers in writing. That's what I said at the beginning. So the one for the risks, we are trying as much as possible to de-risk the investment. And that's why we are taking time to listen to you. We are taking time to write responses and post them. So whatever we have not, you have not answered now, please be assured you will get it in writing as a response. Yeah. My brother, the investor, I want him to come up again. He's not satisfied. The one sitting next to you. From body language, you are not satisfied. The one from Portugal?
Sorry.
Please come up again. We want to make it clear so that by the time you are leaving, you don't leave with any confusion.
Don't worry, I'm satisfied in general. I am one of the lucky ones that has actually delivered the PPP in Kenya, so I know the journey. The issue that I quote and replied to your colleague on the tender format was just to simplify the submission itself, because this would mean that we have to structure a consortium for each project instead of a consortium for all of them, because we are submitting individual documentation. The eligibility criteria, luckily from our side, we comply in general to the construction experience, so our PQ document would actually fit overall project capacity. But if the decision is to submit individually, so be it. It will be hard, I can tell you for sure. And I'm sure this is going around in the heads of all of our friends that are here.
We hear you. I think what I said was we want to make the process as simple and seamless as possible. I think what the engineer was saying, the project information memorandum has different characteristics. For your case, your criteria, one criteria might be the upper limit. So your criteria, these other ones under it fits. But the others who just are below there, so they will not have the same maybe criteria. That is why they should be given an opportunity, I think, engineer, to participate in where they feel they fit. But as I was saying, engineer has said, this is tentative thinking. We'll sit, retreat, look at whatever you have put across, and give a process which is simple, because it is you people who are bringing your money here. So we have to make you comfortable for us to partner and journey together.
Good.
So ICT, Secretariat, we have people online? Or we know?
They have not raised their hand.
Okay, we have on the floor, Karibu.
Thank you. My question was addendum number 3. What's posted on the website is 1 and 2. I don't believe we could access number 3, if you can clarify on that. Thank you.
Yes, we said we are on addendum number 2. Number 3 is the one which will be posting after these clarifications.
About the draft WPA, you said that it's available upon request. I was wondering if we should request the emails indicated there, or there is another procedure for requesting for it?
The decision which was made thereafter, after we ran the addendum, was that we are going to upload it on the portal so that it will be available and accessible to each and any of the investors. The template, which again we qualify is not binding, because all these things will be negotiated, and there are some terms there which at the time, if you succeed to go the next level, there's a stage for negotiation before entering into contract. So any other issues which will be irritating will be handled at that stage. I want to make it again very clear that at this time, we are keen to just look at you and see you have the potential, the capability, the expertise to partner with us going forward. This is what we are trying to come up with. The more detailed one will be now the request proposal, where now you'll give us your story. We'll look at your story, compare with the others, and see what is more viable to the government and what makes sense. So now here is just to see you are interested and you have the capability that we can start the journey together. Anything else, engineer?
Yes, there's one question that has not been responded to. There's an investor who asked what to do with the existing infrastructure, whether we will be able to buy that infrastructure to include in the scope. I think there's no need of saying you will buy. If the scope of works include the use of that infrastructure, then it will form part of your scope. So we are not saying that you will be able to purchase that infrastructure, because it is basically an infrastructure that cannot meet the requirement. You used an example of a water treatment plant. If it cannot meet the throughput required, then it is now requires rehabilitation. So that will form part of the scope of the new investment.
So I think if you don't have people online waiting and any other question, you'll allow us maybe just closing remarks. Anybody finally with any other issue? Again, engineer, ask as many questions as you want, don't worry.
Thank you so much. Yes, due to the influence of natural conditions, say climate change, the scale of the dam is related to the amount of water stored and water supplied. Does the government consider the two parts in price of water purchase? For For example, one is the price of water consumed, and the other is the price of water stored. Thank you.
Will our sisters address that? Any other question as they prepare the response? Good. We assume we get that clarification, then get our closing remarks. Director, I hope there's 4 o'clock tea. If it's there, let us know so that our guests can partake the tea before we depart. So, engineer, just clarify on that.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. You have come up with another question. Price of water stored instead of price of water produced. You have used the issue of climate change. What I want to add is that we can model. We can model the situation. We can assimilate how the situation will be in 50 years to come. Just as the master plan of 2013, we modeled up to 2050. And that information is there. And that brings us the reason why we are championing for dam construction. When we do the next master plan, we want to model up to 2080 so that we see the situation in 2080. So if the investor will just be doing water to store for raw water and then that is the end of the investment, that is a situation that will be discussed during project development. If the issue is irrigation, you want to produce water for irrigation, then that will be agreed on, will be discussed fully and agreed on during project development. Yeah. Because it is irrigation. The fact I was whispering to him, because it is irrigation, the water does not require treatment, and you have got the downstream works. So it can be based on what is already stored. So it is possible. Yeah.
Thank you, engineer. The secretary, do we have any queries inbox for today? We don't have. So, any comment from? We have another question there.
Thank you. Engineer Lima, one of our colleagues asked you the question that most of the designs or the data of 2013, we'll go through it up and then try and see how it will work out. But my question is just an anxiety question. Let's say we have all this data. You know the way the world is changing, the climatic change is happening in the whole world. And we have a certain area where we are supposed to construct the dam. Dam is done, everything is done. Let's say if it doesn't rain for 3-4 years and it's totally dry, what happens then? Whose risk is this? I mean, are we supposed to take insurance on it up? And if we are not able to supply water to the authority, that authority will not pay. It says our agreement is 10,000 shillings, 10,000 cubic meter per month, you're not supplying. Why should we pay you? Then what happens? Maybe you can guide us on that. Thank you.
Again, engineer, these questions were, I think, raised in the last conference. In addendum number 2, we are tempted to address this. But I think I'm not qualified enough to make an authoritative response. But what, from the responses, I think what we are saying, there is data which is available that if you look at it, will assist you in modeling. And both in your financial models, those are the risks you have also to undertake. More said than done, this will be more explicit in the request for proposal going forward. That's what I think. But engineer is
this question has kept on coming up. And we have also circulated the list of dams we want to do. If you have a prediction, analysis, a model, that this area will not receive rain for the next 10 years, can't we know it? Can we compare that information? Because that way will also help us. Because at this stage, we cannot say it's not going to go, it's going to go against the science, that this area will not have rain for the next 4 years. Do you have such information? Because it's not good to generalize a theory that has not been analyzed. A theory that has not even been studied, that it is not going to rain in the next 4 years. Suppose. Which hypothesis is that? Because that can also assist us. Because as we are talking from the real data that has been modeled, that has been assimilated over time. Which specific dam are you predicting? Because let's be factual, let's be real to ourselves. Because in this country, I think the average rainfall is still good. Even in Nassau. Because it has just rained. In fact, they were saying it was going to be below normal. But you can see the floods we have even in Wajir. You can see all the floods that we have had even in Nairobi. So are we going to say that in the next 4 years, that flooding is not going to be there? So let's also be realistic in our thinking, in our reasoning, so that it is real. If an investor has predicted that in this region, it is not going to rain in the next 4 years, and you have information, you have data, can't we also look at it? So that we have got information, what you have and what we have, we can compare, we can put them on the table and compare and agree that maybe this dam you want to do in, let me say, Galana. You are not going to have rain in the next 4 years. Or if you are going to have rain in 4 years, in the 10th year, the 11th year, you will not have rain, something like that. That will assist us to make a very fair judgment, a very fair decision, because we make decision based. Okay, Alan Munywa, you are back. Alan, can you go on?
Thank you, sir.
Alan, can you go on?
Thank you. Thank you, engineer. I think maybe just to pick up a little bit on the issues that you're discussing now, that maybe to put it more broadly, in our case we are an investment fund, and should we participate in the process, we expect to finance the project on the basis of project finance, so non-recourse project finance, meaning there will have to be a lot of elements to do with the project that are let's say definite, or at least that either the providers of equity, who will be us, or the lenders that will bring in, will need to rely on. And at this stage, we hear you. We hear that this is really the stage where you want to understand whether we have capability and so on, and then we dive into the detail of how the projects will look at the RFP stage. One of the questions we had raised earlier and I know with respect to the RFP, I believe you said you will discuss that at a later date, but at least with respect to the water purchase agreement, thank you for confirming that you can share this. But then also with some of the other elements like the likely letter of support or any other measures that are anticipated. And if not the full RFP, if at all, we can also just try and understand what will be the basis of competition at the RFP for the different projects. Because as you have rightly said, these projects are very different. They have different varying complexities, and for us who are not, we are agnostic on which one we invest in, as long as it's viable. We are struggling to understand how to position ourselves relevantly to ensure that we can meet your needs and ours as well to find a viable project to invest in. So my question in other words is, and I've listened through, we are really struggling to understand at this stage, beyond just saying, okay, this is who we are, we have capital, we have experience in doing such projects. Okay, fine. Now we get to the next stage, but at the next stage, we are really not clear how then to zero in, because as we say today, as we are today, at least on Meridium side, we would say we're happy to invest in anything as long as it is viable. We don't have priori knowledge on which specific dam or scheme is viable. We want you to guide us so that you then get really capable people who can then invest. So that's what we are struggling with, and maybe it is the wrong fora I guess it's the right one, but I hope you understand some of the frustrations we are feeling, even as we are interested in the scheme. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Alan. If I got you right, what you are saying is the information we have so far provided may not be sufficient to allow you reach that decision on whether the proposals you want to give might be viable or not. I think what Engineer Mulama had alluded to was saying there is this project information memorandum which is being prepared and which shall be shared by close of the week. From where I sit, I think once we have that PIM posted, kindly go through it, see if again we are addressing your concerns or not, and if we are not addressing your concerns, we remain open to further clarifications, which again the technical team will sit and see how best to address those concerns that might be overliers that make you reluctant to try to participate in the process. I'll also want Engineer Lima to comment on that. That the information, according to the investor, the information that we have provided for them may not be sufficient for them from where they sit to make a decision on how to proceed. So I think engineers are agreeing with me that once we post the PIMs by Friday, PIMs will have more information which will assist the investors from where we sit to make that decision. So can you just be patient? By Friday we give an updated PIM. Then you are also free, as we said, to again reach us so that we'll be able to assist and give the comfort that requires to make you proceed with this investment. So as we said, we are coming to the close of this. Our email address remain open. Okay, I've been informed there's one comment which they are requiring that we may we please get the email for submitting requests for clarification. I think the contact email addresses are in the portal. I think, you can even share on the screen now, just for the benefit of that investor, so that he can be able to know where to get the information. So I'll invite Engineer Malama maybe to lead us. The email address, they're asking if we have where they can request. I'm just saying they can post the email.
Let's project that email address.
Yes.
And let's project also the number, telephone number you can call anytime when you need clarification. So let's project for us the email and the telephone number. So let's project, we are projecting the email, and also the telephone number.
You will now allow me to hand over the program to Engineer Lima to guide us our next engagement. Engineer Karibu.
So I think we have agreed in one accord that you still have from today and tomorrow to give us any suggestion, any clarification, any question, and then we are going to respond to all of them. So your last date is not tomorrow, Friday. Then on Monday, we are going to issue the clarifications. So on Monday, we try as much as possible to post addendum 3, so that you have got enough time to prepare your documents. So let's live in one accord. If you are not satisfied, you still have some time, some few days to write, to seek clarifications, so that on Monday we can work over the weekend, and Monday we issue the addendum 3. So with those remarks, I want to request the Irrigation Secretary to say something, and then Engineer Nyango will close with a word of prayer.
Thank you, WS. The Water Secretary, the investors who've been with us this afternoon, my colleagues, I think it's almost good evening. Okay, let me take this opportunity to sincerely thank you all for the active participation in this forum. It has been very, very exciting. And this shows the interest that you have in the whole of this process. And we, as the ministry, we want to assure you of our full support. I know this is a journey that is new in the country. We've never gone PPP on water. But as a country that has a lot of resources, a colleague of ours was getting worried about the climate issues. It is real. But when we talk to partners in Israel, Saudi Arabia, and many other countries, Kenya is considered as a blessed country in terms of water resources. The problem that we have is how to manage this resource called water. So we are very, very optimistic with the vision that His Excellency the President has. We should be able to get somewhere. It's only that is a beginning, so these fears are normal. They are normal, and I'm happy you are sharing the fears with us, so that as we move together towards this learning journey, we should be able to be successful. When you hear actually His Excellency the President talking, he's talking about 100 drums. What we have posted is only 33. So what is going to come out of this 33 will also inform us on how we are going to move ahead. So I sincerely would like to request you to make the next bold step, respond to the bids so that we can look at them. After we go through the round 1, if there are issues that we need to correct, definitely we are going to correct. But let us make the move, and I wish you all the very best, because I know most of you are going to do the bid, they're going to, sorry? Oh, okay. Okay. My good friend is also trying to allay fears a lot more. He's saying there is a clause in whatever we've circulated on force majeure, just in case by unfortunate circumstances, ujue sote tunaendeshwa na Mungu. Here it's God's plan that is prevails. So in case something is out of hand, even that one has been taken care of. So kindly let us take the bold move. Let us respond with confidence and wish you all the best. If there are any issues to be clarified, we've shared the email as the Water Secretary has indicated. We are all reachable. Maji House is known. Mulama and team are accessible. We are here to support you. Get that assurance from us, because as a country, we want to see this exercise succeed. So with that, wish you well, and let me kindly invite Engineer Onyango to close with a word of prayer so that he prays for us for the success of this journey. Karibu Bwana Engineer.
Maybe before Engineer Onyango prays, there is a phone that is lost. Wamepata?
Oh, okay. Kwa hivyo asanteni sana. Thanks a lot for being with us. Tunashukuru.
Thank you, Irrigation Secretary and Water Secretary. I would like to ask permission to say a word before I pray. On the issue of the possibility of you constructing a dam and then you will miss water, I just wanted to throw clarification. We have a committee that have been looking at these dams, and His Excellency the President had pushed for 100 dams, and as Irrigation Secretary has said, we have advertised 33 dams. And these 33 dams are low-lying fruits, where we know that these are in high rainfall areas or high discharge rivers, and we have the data. And so we are very sure that these 33 dams cannot fail. The other 66 that we are working on, we are not sure. That's why we are studying them, but these ones, you can take it to the bank that we have enough water in those areas that we are advertising that they should be done. So let us pray. Okay. I'm being informed that immediately after our meet, there is some tea just before we go to our various places. Thank you. Let us pray. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again. When we started, we called on your name, and we prayed that you may lead us and you may guide us by your Spirit. And my Father, you've guided us. Lord, you've assisted us with your wisdom, given us clarification on various issues. And my Father, I thank you because, Lord, you've given a good heart to our investors who have decided to come and assist our country, O Lord, and assist our people, Father. Pray that, Lord, you will assist them. You will stand by them even as they prepare their proposals. And my Father, even us, you will give us health, that, Father, we may pursue this program to the end and you may be glorified. As each person is going to their various stations where they came from, Lord, I pray that you may protect them. Your hand of protection may be upon them, that we may honor your name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So the teas are the same place we had lunch.